of Bethlehem. It's all been spruced up, and Palestinian children are leading the celebrations there.
When you say clean up, do you mean from the point of view of the commercialisation of the town?
Yeah, no, they've spent a lot, a facelift really. Let's just have a listen to the noises coming from Bethlehem. This shows the kind of spirit of the millennium, doesn't it? These are Palestinian children, who are Muslims,
yes,
who think we're actually, according to the Muslim calendar, in the year 1420. Yes. They've come together to celebrate this.
That's what's been so amazing about the pictures from all over the world, that all people of all religions are coming together on this one night, and the world is so tiny.
And as part of that, in Bethlehem, they're going to release, at the moment of midnight, 2,000 white doves. The BBC's Jeremy Bowen is somewhere in Manger Square, but I'm not quite sure whether we can get in touch with him. Don't need to, we can see what's happening ourselves. About 15 seconds to go. In Bethlehem, the birthplace of Jesus Christ, and the starting point for the millennium, and there are the doves.
There are the doves, yeah. Wonderful.
There we are.
That is midnight in Bethlehem. People there from all over the world, of course, Michael.
Yes.
And it's quite a fillip for the Palestinian authorities to be able to organise this in territory, of course, they've acquired under the peace process going on in Israel.
Do we have any news of Jeremy Bowen yet? Is he?
He's in there somewhere.
Jerusalem,
There we
only
go.
3 miles from
There he
here,
is.
where there are no celebrations at all at the moment because it's the Jewish Sabbath. For the Jews, it's the year 5760. For Muslims, it's 1420. But for here in Bethlehem, it is, of course, 2000, the third millennium, where they hope they're going to have a very, very different time, a much better place for their children in the new year, in the new century, the new millennium.
Incredible to watch that.
Jeremy Bowen in Bethlehem never misses a deadline. Well, not by more than about 20 seconds. Anyway, we're hoping to get some pictures now from in a short while from South Africa, who have also been celebrating their midnight just about now. Mm-hmm. But we've got pictures from Egypt before that, I gather. What's happening in Egypt is really interesting because it's actually at the pyramids on the Giza Plateau outside Cairo. There they are. And it's the Jean-Michel Jarre a concert.
Yeah.
Sort of light and sound. The oldest lodge...
Look at the people.
Well, there's meant to be 1.5 million people there. And those pyramids are 2,500 years BC was when they were actually constructed. This is all part of the Jean-Michel Jarre concert. huge pyramids, particularly the pyramid to Cheops.
What faces are they going to project?
Come on, Gabby, this is Jean-Michel Jarre.
He's not going to project his own face, is he?
Well, he's French, but I don't think so.
It's all happening in two parts. When we door begin, when we return, silence.
Well, it's a very typical Jean-Michel Jarre performance. It's going on for an hour beforehand and an hour afterwards, I gather.
Spends his life waiting for big events in which to write special commissioned pieces, and his lights and everything. It's extraordinary. Yeah.
On which to capitalise, I think.
Didn't understand a word he was saying, though.
No, but I mean, it's mood, and it's trying to meld all that Egyptian stuff, you know,
actually
pre-Christian
looked
Egyptian
incredible.
stuff,
We can't
with a
take
lot
that
of
away.
modern technology and all that sort of thing.
Because when we get down to...
I think we're getting some pictures, Michael, sorry to interrupt you, from South Africa.
Your
at
old
this
patch,
stage.
I was gonna
My old patch.
Yeah. So you've got the particular interest, you'll look at this, I suppose.
Well,
There
this
you are.
is Madiba, President Mandela himself. He's back on Robben Island. You know, he was imprisoned for 27 years, and for most of that time, he was imprisoned on Robben Island, the island in Table Bay. And he's gone back there. That's I think, Walter Sisulu there, one of the other people who was imprisoned there for so long. And he's going back to the very cell
Nelson
in which
Mandela
he was held.
has been going back to his cell, and
This is
he's
Jeremy
been
Vine.
accompanied by the South African President Thabo Mbeki, who took over from him in the summer. And Mr. Mandela lighting a candle along with Mr. Mbeki, and the candle represents the African millennium, they say, picking up a theme which the two of them have spoken about many times, that this will be, they hope, the African century. They say the African millennium, a time for the African Renaissance. Mr. Mandela, of course, has been back to this cell many, many times since he was released in 1990. He spent 18 years in this cell of his total 27 behind bars. So although the African Renaissance has been scoffed at by a lot of people who say can't possibly happen with wars and AIDS all over Africa and the kind of chaos that we've seen so many times just in the last year, if there's anybody, any one person who embodies hope for Africa in the coming century, it has to be Mr. Mandela himself.
That candle that Mr. Mandela has lit is meant to symbolise not just the millennium, but some spirit of reconciliation and the transfer of power. He's handing it now to the new president of South Africa, Thabo Mbeki.
What an incredibly powerful image that was, though.
Thabo Mbeki's father, Governor Mbeki, was one of the people who were imprisoned in Robben Island with Mr. Mandela. It's a very simple and very symbolic ceremony to
Very, very powerful.
pinpoint the millennium.
But that's his genius, isn't it? The simple gesture, that's what he's the master of.
Do you know, everybody always says, what do you remember over the past few years on television? For me, it was seeing him released, was one of the most truly incredible moments of my life.
Now
Look
look,
at that, yes.
Oh,
clever and
Simple.
very poignant.
very poignant.
Oh, marvellous. Marvellous image.
That was truly wonderful. Now, clock watching is not the only thing going on down at Greenwich tonight. There's a spectacular pop concert featuring an incredible lineup of some of the world's greatest superstars. The Millennium Party in association with British Gas. It all began earlier this evening.
The mighty sound of Carmen Burana at Greenwich Park. And just as that music ends, the Queen is on her way to the Meridian Line, where the 21-gun salute will be given by HMS Westminster, standing there on the upper deck with Princess Anne. A small gathering of the royal family, the Duke of Edinburgh is with her, coming down here, and for a fairly informal appearance at the dome itself. HMS Westminster, which is moored off the Royal Hospital, which is where the Greenwich Meridian line comes down, will fire a 21-gun salute, one shot every 5 seconds, ending just as the Queen's boat reaches the Meridian Line itself. And this is a special concession by the Navy, so they've done everything differently today. It's not normal, for obvious reasons, to fire a gun salute after dark, and it's not normal to fire a 21-gun salute above Gravesend. Earlier, the Queen was receiving this flame which had come down from Sunderland, where it was lit way back in May. And with state trumpeters playing a fanfare, she received it from the chaplain of the royal household and then lit the beacon at Tower Bridge. As you can see, she didn't herself go over to the beacon. What she's doing is lighting a fuse with apparently a certain amount of difficulty, and that would fire a laser across to the beacon. That was the plan. Well, it's certainly a very long fuse that had to be lit. Tower Bridge, floodlit behind, and with its drawbridge up on either side, though, truth to tell, that's only in honour of the Queen. Millennium of Peace, the boat, which is going to run backwards and forwards there. There's the fuse at last. Millennium of Peace and the other boats that are going down don't need the bridge lifted for them. They're quite small. It's a sad sight, the River Thames these days. Nothing very big moves on it anymore. maybe the dome at Greenwich will bring a little life back, because they're hoping people come. There's the laser now, the green light. It's worked. I should say it did work, because what we're seeing happened a few moments ago. And congratulations there. So down here at the dome, where the Queen will arrive a bit later on, and come into the center of the arena and unveil the dome. The Queen's ship is on its way very slowly now, creeping down with the ebb tide under it, so they're having to take it a bit easy not to get there too soon, towards HMS Westminster. HMS Westminster, the frigate, floodlit there. Certainly very spectacular sights on the river tonight, and my goodness, after midnight it's going to get a whole lot better. Ho! Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh drifting downstream. I don't think either of them have been to see the dome, so it'll be quite an eye-opener for them when they arrive down here. They will have listened to all the controversy about the way that the millennium is being celebrated like everybody else. They've obviously been kept in touch and been discussions about it. Duke of Edinburgh pointing out Greenwich as Millennium of Peace approaches it. It's nice that the Queen is coming down this way by river, because this was, during this past millennium, after all, one of the places that was really the heart of British naval power. And so even though now it's rare to see a warship like the frigate Westminster there, floodlit on the left of your picture, it's a reminder of the strength of the Royal Navy and the role that the Navy played and still plays. Now the cannons start to fire. They don't fire the big guns, for obvious reasons. It would frighten the horses. They fire just these little special saluting cannons, as they're called. They have 3 of them. They fire one every 5 seconds, and one is kept in reserve just in case one of them sticks. Queen dressed in an orange overcoat. It's a chilly night, but luckily the rain has held off. If it had been raining like it was last night, this would have been a pretty miserable event, and it would have been difficult to see the fireworks and the colours of the dome and all the rest of it. But as it is, it's still a clear night, and the Queen is obviously taking an interest in what she's seeing as she comes downriver. When the Queen finally arrives, having sailed past with an escort of other ships with her, having sailed past Westminster and comes down to the Millennium Pier, again a fairly simple ceremony. She'll be have presented to her the chief executive of the New Millennium Experience and various other people who've been directly involved, and then unveil a plaque and walk up and then come by car up to the dome. And in the dome itself, again, fairly simple ceremonial. The Archbishop of Canterbury leading prayers, the Queen asking children to unveil the dome itself, and then the most spectacular choral work by Sir John Taverner, newly knighted, and that will lead us up towards midnight. Well, so as we see the Queen wave to her warship as she goes past, behind her she's left the music from Greenwich Park, and we go back there and join Jamie Theakston.
The hardest working man in showbiz tonight, Mick Hucknall and Simply Red!
Driving down an endless road, taking friends or moving alone. Pleasure at the playground on the way. It's almost Wednesday, feels so good. Let's make amends like old men should. Pleasure at the playground on the way. Walk around me free and roam. There's always someone leaving alone. Pleasure at the playground on the way. And I love the thought of home to you. Even if I know we can make it. Yes, I love the thought of giving home to you. Just a little ray of light shining through. Love can bend and grieve alone until the end it finds you alone. Don't care what the people may say. It's always Wednesday, feels so good. Let's make amends like all good men should. Pleasure at the playground on the way. And I love the thought of coming home to you. Even if I know we can make it. Yes, I love the thought of giving home to you. Just a little ray of light shining through. I love the thought of coming home to you. Even if I know we can make it. Yes, I love
is Frank Sinatra's My Way. I've chosen it because this has really for me been the century of the individual and the struggle for the rights of the individual, and it brings to mind people like Martin Luther King, who devoted his life to that struggle, as well as people like Nelson Mandela. It's a perfect choice for a perfect night.
And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I'm certain. I've lived a life that's full. I've traveled each and every highway and more, much more than this. I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, much more than this. I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. Right through it all, I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved, I've laughed and cried, I've had my fill, my share of losing. And now, as tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that. And may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my
What? Good. Well, surprise, we're back here at the Dome. And things are still, you would say, hotting up. People are still not allowed into the centre of the Dome. But meantime, the Queen is arriving. And a spectacular picture of her boat and the big sculpture behind, which maybe we could see in just a moment. The Queen's watermen, the bargemen, in their livery, red and black, as the boat nudges in to the Millennium Pier. There on the right is Anthony Gormley's huge statue, which dominates this Millennium Pier. This is an old coaling pier, and it's been redesigned. Anthony Gormley was the man who made the Angel of the North in Gateshead, that famous thing of the angel with his arms out. And this quantum cloud, as it's called, shows a human figure being revealed through various needles that look like clouds. So they're edging this boat in. It's an unusual form of transport for the Queen. She's normally on a Royal Naval boat, and this is in effect a trip boat. But it's perhaps to draw attention to the fact that the public is being encouraged to come down here to the Dome at Greenwich once it opens tomorrow by boat. You can't come easily by car. And a huge amount of time and effort, as we know, has been expended on the Dome. Everybody's got their fingers crossed it's going to work. £750 million or more, including this pier. But the Queen seems in a cheerful mood today. She said in her broadcast at Christmas that she was looking forward to the millennium. Her mother, of course, will be 100 in August. So her mother spans the entire century. Waiting to greet her, Lord Falconer, Bob Ailing, the Chief Executive of British Airways. Lord Falconer, who was down at Stratford East Railway Station earlier on, he went down in a hurry there when they discovered there were these awful queues there and people complaining they couldn't get their tickets. So as we wait for the Queen to disembark, let's just join Juliet Morris and talk to somebody who is absolutely crucial to the concert that's going to take place here in just a moment. It starts just about at 11 o'clock. Juliet.
David, thank you very much indeed. There is a real air of excitement here inside the arena now. The public have just been let in. They're going to be treated to a fantastic show. We've got Jules Holland and his orchestra, we've got the Cause, we've got Mick Hucknall, we've got Willard White, the Archbishop of Canterbury is going to say prayers. We've got the Millennium Resolution taking us up to the Bongs at midnight, and then a spectacular display, acrobats, dancers, aerialists and so on. Now I mentioned Jules. Jules is not only one of the performers, he also happens to be co-musical director. Jules?
Happy New Year.
And to you. Now I don't want to ask this question, but I have to. How are you feeling? I mean, this is a mammoth operation.
It's very exciting, but I think it is mammoth, and there's my orchestra, which I thought was big, but we've also got the English National Opera Orchestra, and there's 80 of them, and they're led by Paul Daniel, and then behind them, up on these stages, which I didn't even realise till we started rehearsing, there's about 300 people from choirs all over the British Isles. Like there's some schoolgirls from Perth, there's some sort of men from Thurrock. There's a lot are there. No,
Sing,
but it is a huge musical thing.
How long has it taken to put together?
Well, they first contacted me in March,
right.
But the rehearsals, we've been rehearsing in here for about 3 days. But it's a real great display.
Are you petrified?
I'm not petrified. I'm I'm on autopilot.
You're not only obviously thinking about yourself and what you're doing, you're worrying about what everybody else is doing.
All the different singers. Mick Hucknall's just arrived, and we've got to kind of work out something. We've got that he's going to do. Heather Small, all these people kind of have helped, and a lot of it is last minute because not everybody could get to all the rehearsals.
Yeah, and you were 4 minutes over this afternoon, weren't you, or something? So you had to knock 4 minutes out of the show.
Exactly, but we just play everything a bit faster. But by the time we get there, we'll be so excited. We'll be very fast.
Just play fast.
Yeah.
Well, you might have to play fast because, of course, the most important thing is hitting the bongs at midnight, isn't it? I mean, this is an extraordinary exercise in timing, apart from anything else.
That's right, and of course, the first rule in showbiz is timing. And I think I've done so far so good because I'm in the theatre on the right evening.
Yeah.
So everything so far is going well. So if I can keep on this course, it's all going to be
But
fine.
what happens if you do manage to slip behind by a couple of seconds?
We've got various things. I can't reveal the exact details and the mysteries of how our craft works, but there are odd songs that we have sort of bits where we can just cue. Actually,
Right,
the man
so
really
you
is
will
not
have to
good.
make it up as
It's
you go.
Gilson, our drummer. If we just look at him, he just does a big drum fill and we stop.
Right. And the other question I wanted to ask is, interestingly, you're co-musical director with Paul Daniel.
Yeah.
Why the two of you?
He runs the English National Opera, and his input, if you like,
Oh.
is the orchestral side, and mine is the groovy side.
Excellent.
Well, they're both
Loads of
good.
luck, loads of luck. We've got to go. Thanks
All right,
for talking
Happy
to
New
us.
Year.
Thank you. Now back to David.
I was hearing Jules rehearse. It's a great show, so stay with us and join us. Down on the pier, which is a few hundred yards away from here, the Queen is just being helped ashore. A number of people who were travelling with her just came off before. The Queen, the Duke of Edinburgh behind, the Princess Royal, who I inadvertently called Princess Anne, which dates me rather, and being presented to her, Robert Ayling there, of British Airways, who put a lot of money into this thing and is also part of the organisation, a non-executive director of the NMEC, as we call it, the company that's been putting on the dome. And Lord Falconer inviting her to unveil a plaque there, which just mentions that she was here on this day and opened the pier. Various architects have been involved in this. The umbrella of the dome and this part of the pier was done by the Richard Rogers Partnership, people who made the great umbrella of the dome. And so the Queen approaches the dome itself. It'll be several minutes before she's here. We'll see her grand entry into the stadium. The concert is beginning not for another 25 minutes or so it'll be some time yet. But anyway, we'll be there. Join us to see that. And let's go back in the meantime to Michael Parkinson.
David, thank you. And now Shona Lowry is in Northern Ireland, in Derry, where the millennium is a moment for reconciliation and making and remaking of connections. So let's cross there now to Shona. Shona?
Hiya, Michael. Well, Derry has set up an amazing event now in their own inimitable style. They have formed a human circle of light.
welcome one of Britain's finest songwriters, Mr. Brian Ferry.
You must remember this. A kiss is still a kiss. A sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by. And when two lovers woo, they still say I love you. On that you can rely. No matter what the future brings as time goes by. Moonlight and love songs never out of date. Hearts full of passion, jealousy and hate. Woman needs man, and man must have his mate that no one can deny. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. It's still the same old story, a fight for love and glory, a case of do or die. The world will always welcome lovers as time goes by. Thank you.
That's the greatest love song ever written.
Oh, you didn't like the other one? You didn't like the Frank Sinatra
Didn't like My
one?
Way.
My Way? No, that's not a great song. That's a great song.
No, that
Herman
was
Hupfeld's great song.
We're 15 minutes, 16 minutes away from midnight in almost all the Western European capitals.
Right.
So we got the Eiffel Tower, which has been lit up in fairy lights and got this giant clock
Even
100
though
metres
poor
up.
France has had 25% of its electricity down.
Well, indeed, but they're still going ahead with their celebrations in Paris. We've got the Brandenburg Gate, you know, the centrepiece of German unity. There's going to be 1 million people there. In fact, there probably are at this minute, 1 million people in the Pariser Platz and up the Unter den Linden around Brandenburg, around the Brandenburg Gates. We've got, oh right, yes, we're getting some pictures, I think, of Berlin. Yeah, here they come.
Let's have a look.
Yeah, Brandenburg Gates. Do you know those wonderful gates with the chariot on the top?
Yes.
And there's been a bit of a row because Victory on top of the chariot now has an iron cross again, which there hasn't for about 40 years before. Well, that isn't the Brandenburg Gate, that's the Eiffel Tower. Now,
And they have the electricity switched on.
Oh, they've got all the lights. Do you know that was the tallest building in the world when it was built in the last century?
It was
1,056 feet high.
You've been reading the encyclopedia all day, haven't you? It's
Just ask me a
incredible.
question. Just
But
ask
it
me a
was
question.
also, too, was it not? It was a temporary
Yes,
structure.
exactly. Rather like the dome, rather
exactly.
like the wheel.
Like
in
the
fact,
wheel.
It's got a 5-year planning permission.
Exactly.
Hasn't it? I think they had more than 5 years, but it's
Yes.
still going.
But it's amazing you could conceive that ever as a kind of temporary structure. It's so beautiful, isn't it?
It
so
certainly
much now
is.
part
And
of us.
it's absolutely the centrepiece of the Paris celebrations.
Yes.
Though they've done a lot of other things. They've stuck perfume, you know, in the Seine. You know that?
No.
Yes, they put
For
perfume
tonight?
in the Seine.
I'm not going to set fire to it, are we?
Yeah. No, apparently. And they've got sculptures of fish, presumably because the perfumes killed the real ones. You know?
Yeah.
Now we're home. They're really working up down that end of town, aren't they?
Sure they are.
But I know I've said it before, but London just looks so beautiful at night. I mean, it is an incredible place, and the whole world will be watching. Big Ben,
Very well, there's beacons.
1 hour and 16 minutes.
Indeed.
So
The House of Parliament, that wall of fire will come straight past there, starting at Tower Bridge.
That's right.
And then going west along the river, all the way to Vauxhall Bridge. So it'll sweep right down there, past the House of Parliament. I hope there's no... Wasn't it Peter Sissons who was wondering if there was going to be a bit of a north wind that might sort of blow it in
worried.
that way? It looks as though they're practicing already.
Well, so far all the fears that we've had about some millennium bug and that sort of thing have not been fulfilled.
That's a spectacular sight, isn't it? For most foreigners, you know, Tower Bridge is the centre of London. But for most people in Wales, the new Millennium Stadium is the centre of Cardiff, of the capital city. And there's the Manic Street Preachers. You're a fan, aren't you?
was
You're a
singing
Manic
along to
Street
that.
Preachers
Wonderful.
fan. Well, look, we're only about 8 minutes away from midnight in Europe. Don't worry, not
you
midnight
made me
here.
panic for a moment.
And the centrepiece for this is Paris, is the Eiffel Tower. The BBC's John Sopel is there.
Good evening and welcome to Paris, because in a few moments' time we'll be seeing the Eiffel Tower light up. And I spoke to one of the designers of the event a short while ago, and I asked him about the firework display, and he was very quick to correct me. He said this is not a firework display, it's a ballet of fire. An important distinction, I think, that they wanted to make. And apparently we're going to see the Eiffel Tower appear to take off, and there's huge excitement all around. Firecrackers have been going up and the crowds have been building up here in Paris throughout the evening. Hundreds of thousands of people have been pouring in, and many people from abroad, from Italy, from Spain, from Japan, and lots of British people too have come over to Paris to see the millennium come in. They're estimating that there's something like 500,000 people down by the Eiffel Tower. The actual area around the Eiffel Tower has been cleared in advance of the pyrotechnic, or the ballet of fire as they're calling it. But down on the other side of the River Seine there are huge crowds, and the police at times have been rather worried that actually it's becoming a bit of a crush. It's a rather similar scene on the Champs-Élysées, where you have 11 Ferris wheels erected going down to the Place de la Concorde, where there is a giant Ferris wheel there. But as I say, we were waiting any moment now for the Eiffel Tower to light up. Let me just tell you about one glitch. I don't know whether you can see the Eiffel Tower there clearly behind me, but for the past 999 days, there has been a clock counting us down to zero. And just before 7 o'clock this evening, the clock went on the blink. Now, the organisers of the festivities are saying, well, that's not a problem. Everything will still work, and their firework display works independently of any clock.
Well, history, not the only thing going on the blink, history has given Europe a cat's cradle of national borders. A lot of really confusing time differences. So here with a handy guide to where is when across the continent, Peter Snow and Philippa Forrester.
Well, the Greenwich Meridian is now accepted as all over the world the official centre of time and space, but my goodness did it take some persuading to get Greenwich accepted. If you reckon that Britain and France have had trouble enough over beef, that's nothing to the decades it took for the French to accept that the prime meridian runs through London. It was in 1884 that a world conference decided that longitude should start and end at Greenwich. And it wasn't just the French who found that a bit hard to swallow. 2 other countries refused to endorse Greenwich at that conference, and Liberia only came round to it in 1972 to celebrate its president's birthday.
The French had their own meridian cutting through Paris, and they only finally came round to accepting Greenwich in 1911. But even then, they couldn't bring themselves to say the G word. Legal time, said the government, is now Paris Mean Time, retarded by 9 minutes and 21 seconds. And even today, the French are still determined to promote their own meridian. Today, in the town of Carcassonne, local people turned out in force to plant the last few trees along a line which they claim will be visible from space. They've planted over 10,000 trees down the entire length of France. It stands as a natural monument to their own rival to the Greenwich Meridian. But for all this razzmatazz, the French do accept the preeminence of the Greenwich Meridian in deciding world time. Greenwich Mean Time is now known as Universal Time, and the final irony is that the international body that controls it is actually based in Paris.
And what's more, they're going to be letting off the fireworks an hour before us tonight. And not just France. Here's a map of Europe. And these are all the countries that have set their local time to exactly 1 hour ahead of Greenwich. And as you can see, Britain is out on its own there almost, with Ireland and Portugal over here. All the countries in Western and Central Europe, except for us, Ireland and Portugal, are about to hit midnight. That's more than 20 of them altogether.
It's going to be a huge challenge for us, but we're going to try and visit at least half of them, right from the Puerta del Sol in Madrid to the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. So wish us luck.
Well, thanks very much indeed, Philippa. All across Europe, midnight is about to strike. From Paris all the way to Prague, Vienna to Venice, Stockholm to St. Moritz, our neighbours in Europe are about to start the third millennium. At the Eiffel Tower, of course, do you know there's 12 miles of fairy lights there? That's Arc de Triomphe, and the crowd's really getting excited there now. 500,000 people there. There's concerts in many of the European capitals. This one looks like Dam Square, but I couldn't tell for sure. That is St. Stephen's in Vienna, I think, the finest Gothic building in Vienna, that's going to get a second tower that was always intended. They started building it in the 15th century, but they finished after a while. Oh, this is the farewell concert in Dam Square, where the first dam was put across the river Amstel, turning it into a fishing village, now to Amsterdam. And this looks like the Puerta del Sol in Madrid. Thousands upon thousands of people there, waiting for the great peal of bells that always comes to mark the turning of the year. Oh, this is Prague. No, this is definitely Budapest. This is the lights on the Danube here, just underneath the Parliament building, looking at it from the Matthew Church. Oh, this is Wenceslas Square in Prague. They had a real fiddler on the roof playing, in actual fact, a rather distinguished violinist just a few moments ago. They're waiting there. All their bells will soon start pealing. And this is Oslo, the old town square in front of the Royal Palace, which has got one bedroom more than Buckingham Palace.
I årene som kommer vil huske denne kvelden og den forventning den rommer.
And that
Jeg så heldig at jeg får feire denne kvelden.
is King Haakon of Norway. And that's the Brandenburg Gate, the real symbol of German unification. A million people around that gate in the Pariser Platz and down the Unter den Linden. And there's the Eiffel Tower. And the idea is, at midnight, it'll look as though it's going to be taking off. And that is St. Peter's in Rome, I think. And the Eiffel Tower really does look as though it's going to take off, doesn't it? They've got thousands upon thousands of pounds worth of fireworks going off around there. There's those 12 miles of fairy lights I was talking about. What a symbol they've made of the Eiffel Tower. There's a clock on the side that John Soper was telling us about. Yeah, this firework display lasts for 3 minutes before the midnight and then goes on for 3 minutes afterwards. "30 seconds to European midnight." "10 seconds to go, live in Paris as Europe meets the third millennium." Oh, wow. And in St. Peter's Square, the Pope with his traditional Urbi et Orbi message. While in Paris, this firework display's got 3 more minutes to run, Gabby.
I'm enjoying it. I'm happy if it keeps going.
I think the Pope's message they were thinking would be largely in Latin, so we'll hear what he says a little later.
You'll be able to translate this because you've known everything else.
Look, just look at those pictures.
I don't know whether you can hear me in the truck.
Okay, that gets 10 out of 10 in my book. Best so far.
I think London will have to do a lot too. That single focus.
Isn't it incredible?
All right, let's go back across Europe and see how they greeted the new millennium. This is Prague, Wenceslas Square. Wow. And this is Dam Square in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, their giant Ferris wheel that's been counting down the last moments of the millennium. Holland celebrating the 3rd millennium. And this is Pilsudski Square in Warsaw, where the Varsovians celebrating the new millennium. They bring candles across and they blow them out as the fireworks leap out into the sky. And they make a wish. To join the European community, perhaps. And that's St. Stephen's in Vienna. St. Stephen's Place, the centre of Vienna.
You must have something incredible to tell us about that. Come on, Michael.
Yep.
Go on.
Finest Gothic building in Vienna. And the second tower, they started in 1450 and they never got more than about 10 feet high.
I'm going to keep testing you now. I'm impressed.
This is, I think this is Copenhagen. This is the town hall clock. Rather boring clock on the outside. Inside is the most complex astronomical clock ever made. And it's got a gear wheel that takes 2,400 years to make one complete revolution. Just round the corner from the Tivoli Gardens. That's Denmark, celebrating their new millennium. And this is Geneva, where they got a giant hourglass. And as the midnight struck, they turned it over so people could celebrate the first moments of the new millennium trickling down through this giant hourglass.
How long is that hourglass going to last, Michael?
An hour, Gabby. That's what hourglasses do.
What's inside the hourglass, Michael?
Oslo, outside the royal palace, King Haakon V was greeting his people just as we left them earlier on. But this is the moment at which Norway greeted the new millennium. And Puerta del Sol, Madrid. With a bit of brio. And this is Stockholm King Carl Gustaf and Queen Sylvia, and Crown Princess Victoria, who's the heiress.
Gott nytt år! Happy New Year! And skål!
Skål!
Skål is right. Less than an hour to go, the final countdown has begun, and all over the country people are getting ready for the millennium moment. In Edinburgh, Kirsty Walker is hobnobbing with about 300,000 close friends.
Well, Michael, Edinburgh, you can't believe this normally douce town has turned into something of a great urban party. There are hundreds of thousands of people in the street below me, and although our fireworks won't match the Eiffel Tower, they had to be checked with the army to make sure they wouldn't blow out every window in Princess Street. The crowd's noise is going to blow out every window in Princess Street. There's people down here in all shapes and sizes and hats, throwing Scotland flags up. Amazing here. But I'm sure you can beat that in Cardiff, Sean Lloyd.
I'm here outside Cardiff City Hall, and there's a huge crowd of all ages rocking the old millennium away. Shaking Stevens is on stage, and I bet you didn't know he's had more #1 hits than Dame Shirley Bassey and Tom Jones put together. He was also the first artist to perform on Top of the Pops 50 times, would you believe? And tonight, I must say, he's one of the most electrifying performers here. Look at this.
Hello again. The atmosphere here in Belfast can only be described as magical. Tens of thousands of people have flocked to the city centre. At the moment they're listening to Brian Kennedy. He's playing his 4th concert of the day in Ireland. Just across the way, 100 yards or so away in Lanyon Place, thousands more are waiting to hear the ABBA tribute band Born Again strut their stuff. And then later on, we'll be leading all these people to the waterfront for a fantastic firework display. So it is only outrageous. Over to Birmingham.
Thanks, Noel. Here in Birmingham, the atmosphere is electric. And the 90s girl band Honey's is getting ready to be the last band to perform live on Centenary Square this millennium. About 20,000 people have packed into the square here. It's incredible. And elsewhere in the square, another 250,000 people are enjoying the celebration, watching the events on screens around the city. From buzzing Birmingham, over now to Leeds.
Hello there. Yes, this is Chapel Town in Leeds, just a mile outside the city centre. And here we are celebrating African Caribbean style. Inside the house, we've got the Roots crew who've set up their sound system. They're going to be playing some of the loudest and fattest tunes a little bit later on. Inside, we've got people warming up and getting themselves ready as well. But it's not easy doing this sort of stuff, you know. It takes a lot of setting up. Here's the boys setting up a little earlier.
Yes, Dread. Selassie, right?
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing.
Fireworks all around the world, and fireworks of a very different kind, a very human kind, happening here in the City Hospital in Southampton. Linda, who is expecting twins very soon, am I right?
Yes, it looks like I'll probably be going down to theatre in the next hour, so
there's every possibility that one of them might arrive just before midnight.
possibly.
We just don't know, don't we? I mean,
No,
but
we don't know. It's
for the ladies at home. It's safe to understand that you're fully dilated. Is that right? We're just
Yes,
waiting for the
that's
head
right,
to drop
yeah.
a little.
Yeah.
For men, it's worth saying it's the quiet time, isn't it? The frightening time. Okay, well, whilst we're watching and waiting here out, Chrissy Rock is in the middle of the Irish Sea on a platform with 100 men keeping them happy.
Do we need booze to enjoy ourselves, lads? No! Are we having a wonderful time? Yes! Are we going to go to work tomorrow? No! You, Fireball Steve! No!
under the London Eye in London. I have to say, I have never seen a sight like it. Both banks of the Thames are totally rammed with people, as are any of the bridges that are open. I can see Westminster Bridge over there, and people cannot move. It is an unbelievable sight. What a time to be alive. It's just amazing. Now, the extravaganza planned for the capital at midnight is going to be spectacular, including, of course, the River of Fire, which is going to come right the way from Tower Bridge, sweeping past at 650 miles an hour, which is the speed of time and the speed of the Earth's rotation, down to Vauxhall. Hundreds of fireworks are going to be shooting into the sky. It's going to be breathtaking, followed by the biggest firework display the world has ever seen. 40 tons of fireworks. The BBC have got most cameras in the most places. Keep it here. See you later.
Well, to tell the truth, I can't hype what's happening at the Dome. It's all decorum at the moment. The miracle is they've got most people in. The politicians are all inside. They're listening to Ruby Turner singing now in the warm-up. But this is where the big events are going to happen as we move towards midnight. So stick with us.
And where are we going now?
The Beatitudes.
The Beatitudes. Ah, that's where we're going. The Beatitudes. Let us go there. All right, for thousands of years, people of faith have written down and passed on the words of wisdom which express the essence of what they believe. This is particularly true of Christianity. The youth of the Celtic nations, Northern Ireland, Wales and Scotland, now unite with the reading of the Beatitudes from the Gospel of St. Matthew. And we begin in the ancient and tiny chapel of St. Margaret within Edinburgh Castle.
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled.
Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake.
Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven.
And here down at the Dome, Benjamin Britten's Young Person's Guide to the Orchestra, just, I think, finished. Ruby Turner was singing. Let's go inside this spectacular sight. The first view of the centre of the Dome, filled now with the curtain all round, which later on is going to be lowered to reveal the whole Dome. You're just seeing half of the Dome here. Paul Daniel conducting the English National Orchestra. In a moment, the Archbishop of Canterbury, George Carey, will come into the arena with 3 children from Bernardo's homes. The Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh arrive, greeted by the Prime Minister and Mrs. Blair. And cheers from all round the arena, whistles, as the Queen makes her appearance inside the dome. And she's going to stay standing as the Archbishop of Canterbury introduces the 3 children, Tyrone, Howard and Joanne, who are going to read prayers, and then he himself will read the Lord's Prayer. And this is the one moment of Christian prayer and dedication that will be happening in this evening's ceremony. Later on, we'll hear the Millennium Resolution, which is designed to appeal to all faiths. 12,000 people now wait for the Archbishop.
For Christians, Jesus Christ is the light of the world. Tonight, let us thank God for him and for all that he's given to this country and to our world, and let us pray for that world and its people. Jesus said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and your neighbor as yourself."
Lord, there are so many poor people in the world and in our society who feel left out. Help us to share what we have with them.
Jesus said, "Blessed are the peacemakers."
Lord, so many people are suffering as a result of war. Help politicians everywhere to find new ways of stopping the fighting.
Jesus said, "Look at the birds of the air. Consider the lilies of the field."
Lord, thank you for this beautiful world you have given us. Help us to care for it and keep it safe for those who will come after us.
Jesus said, "I am the good shepherd."
Lord,
help those who are sad or ill or lonely tonight to know that you love them.
And all of us, we all are invited to join in the family prayer Jesus taught us to say, "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen." Wave to them, right? We'll go.
So, as the Archbishop of Canterbury leaves the stage, it's going to be reset now for the next musical act. The next musical act is from Ireland. 3 women, all sisters, although I'm informed that one of them, Caroline, who normally plays on the drums and vocals, can't be with us tonight, so she is metamorphosized into a man. But here, coming up, are the band The Cause with their hit single, So Young.
Taking it easy by breezing
Sailing of the whole dome and for the final ceremonies before midnight. Let's go back and join Gabby Roslin.
Thank you very much, David. Yes, we will be back with you soon. But now, the latest on the Millennium Bug with Peter and Philippa.
Indeed, and Gabby, we mustn't forget that with all this excitement going on, there are some very, very worried people all over the world. The Millennium Bug, has it struck or hasn't it? 25, 35 minutes from now, we'll know what's happening in this country, what's happened over all the rest of the world. Those bugs are going to crawl all over our computers and make the planes fall out of the sky. Are they doing it or not? Well, now let's look at our bug watch map. Here it is, and the big threat really seems to be in Japan. Nothing much has happened in Southeast Asia. But when you get to Japan, the bug seems to have possibly struck in two places, two really rather serious incidents at Ishikawa and Onagawa, both of them nuclear power plants. At Ishikawa, and the radiation monitoring system has failed just outside the actual nuclear reactor itself. That happened at midnight. It hasn't been put right. They don't know whether it's bug-related. At the Onagawa power station, alarms sounded after midnight, but they seem to have put that right. Also in Japan, 38 earthquake seismic sensors seem to have failed since midnight. Again, they can't be sure whether that is related or not. Now, there was a big scare all over the rest of Asia, by the way. There's no sign of any bug-related damage at the moment, although, of course, it's very early days. People don't get back to their offices till Monday or Tuesday. We can't be sure things aren't happening all over the world behind the scenes. But one really big scare happened when the Russians fired 3 Scud missiles from southern Russia into Chechnya just here. And the Americans immediately asked their Russian counterparts to the NORAD headquarters of Colorado Springs, where the Americans and the Russians are meeting together, and they said to the Russians, "What's this?" And the Russians said, "Don't worry, it's not bug-related. These are local tactical missile firings at Chechnya." So that is not a serious problem as far as the bug is concerned, although it must have caused untold havoc in Grozny. Now here we have Turkey, and in Ankara we understand that they had to reset the pipeline computers' dates because the pipelines were reading 1999. They weren't sure that those pipelines are still going on to go on. The Iraqi oil pipeline, if the 00 date came up, they weren't sure. So they switched it back to 1995 to be sure. All the rest of Western Europe, still no sign of any activity. Of course, in Italy, great questions. Italy was the last really to prepare for the bug, and there are worries there. No sign yet that there are serious problems there. There's the midnight line approaching us. We'll know about Britain very soon. The only other important event that seems to have happened so far is that in Ottawa, the Canadian capital, apparently the local Defense Department experts there have decided that the excess keys to the Defense Department's secret safes and so on aren't safe enough to use because they haven't been made bug compliant. A sign that even in a place as sophisticated as Ottawa, they haven't yet got themselves sorted out just minutes before the vital time comes. Philippa.
Well, so as Peter said, just over half an hour to midnight here in the UK. And they are gearing up for possible bug problems at the government's Crisis Command Centre in Whitehall. The BBC's Stephen Evans is there. So, Stephen?
Philippa, behind me you've got representatives of all the government departments here, and they're waiting anxiously. The Department of Health, the DTI, the Treasury, all that kind of thing. But I have to say that what they're telling me is not a twitch from the bug, not a tweak. They don't expect it really, certainly no signs so far. Now this is the latest government bulletin, and it says, bold letters, there have been no millennium bug problems reported today in the UK. But just to emphasise what you were saying before, they're also getting information from the embassies, British embassies all around the world, and if you go down the list, South Korea, Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, Manila, no sign from the embassies here. So either the bug is dead, or it's dormant, or perhaps, who knows, it was never there really in the first place.
Well, that's the official line that you've given us there. What does it actually feel like? Do they feel like they're confident there?
You do get the sense that they are confident. All the people say that preparation had to be done, and that's why there will be no problems after midnight. Of course, we won't know whether the millennium bug is actually there until the millennium. And in some senses, you won't really know until we all go back to work, because there are two sorts of millennium bugs, if you like. There is the bug in people's computer where the date changes to 2000 and the computer can't quite work out what that is. But there's also a kind of a virus which malicious people put into computers, and we won't know if those viruses are in until people go back to work and log on and open documents which have been sent to them.
Okay,
now,
Stephen?
some very big corporations have decided to take no risks with that, so they're actually using faxes over this midnight period.
Stephen, thank you very much.
This bug doesn't seem to be there.
Thank you very much, Stephen. We'll be back with you later, talking more about the Millennium Bug and keeping track of what's happening in the UK. Michael.
Philippa, thank you. We shall wait and see. We've been talking a lot about the achievements and significant moments of human history. There's one coming up right now, the reunion of two men who made the nation laugh more than any other two men with the name of Ronnie. Welcome, please, accompanied by Stephen Fry, the two Ronnies.
I'm a modern man. I look down on them because I'm from a more advanced society.
I'm Renaissance man. I look up to him because he is on average 4 inches taller than I am. But I look down on him because he is a smelly, ignorant serf.
I'm medieval man. I look up to them because I am a smelly, ignorant serf. I live in a one-room hovel made of straw and manure.
I live in a new Barrett's estate, so I envy him. However, I do have hot and cold running water, a car, a Yamaha organ, a TV, and a new video. Although I don't know how to work it.
I have cold running water, a map of the world which includes the Americas, a telescope, and the collected works of Homer in 39 weekly parts.
I have a pig. Although I don't know how to work it. I am so ignorant, I think the sun goes to bed at night.
I think the sun revolves around the earth.
I think the sun shines out of my trousers.
I work as a weaver. For that reason, I'm called Mr. Weaver.
I am a miller, so I'm called Mr. Miller.
My name's Ramsbottom. So I'm called Sir.
I have a hard life. I'm 23. I have 1 day off a year when we get drunk and hit each other with pig's bladders on sticks.
I have 2 days off a week when I watch TV and go to home base.
I have 1 day off a week when I go to church. But I must admit the pig's bladder thing sounds a lot more fun.
I'm feudal. I believe in doing what his lordship tells me.
I'm an optimist. I believe in progress.
I'm New Labour, so I don't believe in anything.
I encourage education. I teach my children to read.
My children don't have a school, so they can't read.
My children go to comprehensive school, so they can't read either.
Throughout the history of Britain, some things never change.
I blame the Normans. I hate the French because they beat us in 1066.
I hate the French because they beat us in 1998.
I just hate the French. I don't need a reason.
All in all, I think my life is better than theirs.
I think my life is not as good as his, but better than his.
I'm a smelly, ignorant serf. But at least I don't have to put up with pollution, global warming, nuclear war, GM food, stress, and Carol Vorderman. Whoever he is.
Well, sod this. Anybody fancy a pint?
What about the Wattle and Dob? That's a very nice pub.
No, it's not a pub anymore. That's the Burbage Theatre nowadays.
No, I think you'll find it's now the Hanger Lane Gyratory System.
Good stuff. 25 minutes to go. Let's have a quick whip around the country, see what's happening.
Well, here by the River Thames, things are hotting up, but at midnight, things will seriously be hotting up when the River of Fire is ignited. Now, this is a pyrotechnic extravaganza, the likes of which have never, ever been seen before. Just check out the crowds that are here along the Thames, first of all. 3 million were expected. I would imagine we are way in excess of that right now. Now, if I can just briefly explain how the River of Fire is going to work. There are 16 barges moored between Tower Bridge and Vauxhall. Each of them is packed with fireworks, and what's going to happen at the speed of time, 650 miles an hour, which is the speed of the Earth's rotation, we're going to celebrate midnight at each of the barges. At exactly midnight, the fireworks will be ignited by computers that are actually on the shore, sending hundreds of fireworks into the air. It's going to be an unbelievable sight. These aerial views are just spectacular. These are being provided by the NatWest airship, and the air is obviously the best place to see the River of Fire. We will be bringing you the pictures at midnight, and we'll also be doing a replay because the whole thing is going to be incredibly fast, 10.8 seconds from start to finish, followed by a huge firework display, 40 tonnes of fireworks, the biggest the world has ever seen. This is the place to be. We'll be back at midnight. Now back to the studio.
Thank you very much. Now we're off to Newcastle. A giant white swan is getting in on the act.
Well, hopefully you're seeing some spectacular pictures here of this amazing water procession down the River Tyne, and it's seen the symbol of a small boy, the symbol of the new millennium. It's going to go up in fireworks, but back to you in the studio.
In Manchester, at Castlefield, the best of Manchester's DJs are presenting non-stop dance music. There are 3 stages in different parts of this historic canal basin. At the main stage, alongside the Staffordshire Canal, Angela Griffin reports from the Rock and Roll Party.
Hello, here we are at Castlefield in Manchester in one of possibly the largest free millennium parties. Now it's wet, as you can see, but this doesn't seem to be dampening anybody's spirits. Are we all having a good time? Are we excited? Dancing when we get to the millennium? Yeah! Over to you.
Cardiff and Tim Vincent.
As you join us here in Cardiff, the atmosphere is absolutely electric. The Manics are nearing the end of their first set, and the 60,000 capacity crowd are getting ready to welcome in the new millennium at the new Millennium Stadium. It's back to the studio.
Thank you now, Noel Thompson in Belfast.
Thanks, Tim. Well, in just 25 minutes, the tens of thousands of revellers here in Belfast city centre are going to decamp about half a mile across the city to the riverbank for a big fireworks display. They're going to be led by the Northern Ireland Friendship Band. So appropriate, because this band came together at the height of the Troubles, recruits musicians from both traditions, and they just get together to have a good time. They're going to do that tonight. How they're going to get through the crowds, I do not know, but we'll show you how. Back to the studio.
In Shetland, Jackie Bird is really flying.
Sure, you don't need me to tell you that we're having a fine time here in Shetland. We've got a bit of a start though. But Shetland is a rather expert at making merry through the long dark nights. The only problem is going to be quietening them down to hear the bells. But I'm sure we won't let it pass us by. Back to you.
And to Greenwich for that Millennium Party.
Yes, thanks nearly there. Thanks very much, Michael. I have been down the hill by the gig early on, so I've actually come up to the Royal Observatory now. As you can see behind me, you can actually see the clock ticking down. 21 minutes and 45 seconds to go. I'm right actually on the edge of the Meridian line. You can actually see this laser here, which is firing down. There we go. That's the green laser. That's firing down towards the concert. At the moment, it's passing over the concert, so in fact I understand that the Eurythmics are on stage, so it's probably the case that both Annie Lennox and Dave Stewart are straddling 2 millenniums like an entertainment colossus. They are still on stage, so we'll go and take a look at them live now.
Everybody's
nationally, globally, all around the world. Put your hands together and say Happy New Year! And it's not even raining! Sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Hey, oh, yeah. I said, sweet dreams are made of this. Who am I to disagree? I travel the world and the seven seas. Everybody's looking for something. Some of them want to use you. Some of them want to be used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Some of them want to be used by you. Some of them want to abuse you. Some of them want to be abused. Hey, 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 yeah. I said, hold your head up, keep your head up, hold your head up, keep your head up, hold your head up, keep your head up, hold your head up, keep your head up. Happy New Year!
And now back here at the Dome, the final bars of Amazing Grace, led by Willard White on stage. Singing with Ruby Turner, Dennis O'Neill, Rosemary Joshua. Wonderful performance of Amazing Grace. And now all the performers and the audience are going to sing the Lennon-McCartney song, All You Need Is Love, the hit song of the Beatles in 1967, chosen from a long list of other records. And maybe some people will be thinking of George Harrison tonight as they sing this. another 25 seconds. All the performers on stage, all the audience joining in, all you need is love. Until now, the yellow curtain round the back there has concealed half the dome from the audience inside, and in a moment, after a fanfare, the Queen is going to ask 8 children to run and let the curtain down. The Queen opens the gate for the 8 children. I watched them rehearsing this earlier. They go at a great dash down in a moment. Oh, well, they're being rather more decorous this time, and they're going to come to the stage that's opposite where the Queen and the Prime Minister are and pull on giant ropes, and the whole circle of the dome will be revealed. If it works. Well, a fantastic sight, and the first time the whole dome has been revealed, the Queen herself looking excited, the Prime Minister applauding, everybody in the audience cheering. And now at the very centre of the stage, laser lights fire from a huge pear-shaped diamond, 203 carats, as large as the Koh-i-Noor diamond or the Star of Africa. A stone made perhaps before human life began, and a stone that will last long after. And 2 choir boys, or choir choristers I should say, David Wigram, the 13-year-old BBC Choir Boy of the Year, and the 19-year-old Sumudu Jithaleka. And they're going to sing John Taverner's A New Beginning, supported by choirs drawn from right across the United Kingdom, by the English National Opera Orchestra and chorus, and the whole set to the words of the Millennium Resolution. First, they walk to the center of the stage and extinguish the light on the diamond. In a moment, Harriet Baker, a 15-year-old schoolgirl from Newcastle-on-Tyne, will read the Millennium Resolution. It was written by a wide-ranging group of Christian churches, and it's intended to embrace people not just of Christian faith, but of all faiths, and those with none. And in many homes and churches across the land, as this resolution is spoken, candles will be lit.
Let there be respect for the earth, peace for its people, love in our lives, delight in the good, forgiveness for past wrongs, and from now on, a new start.
Keep us in your peace. Grant us every blessing, and lead us.
Now, with fewer than 3 minutes to go before the start of the new millennium, in all parts of these islands, people are waiting in their own ways. Here outside Cardiff City Hall, outside Belfast City Hall.
There's a very brave man there. Here he is. We've got 2 minutes, apparently.
On the quayside at Newcastle,